Hello and welcome to Channel 2S. I'm your host, Second Soundwave, and it's time for some more Gunpla news. So our first topic for tonight is something that I actually wanted to talk about yesterday, but it completely escaped my mind as I was recording, so I did not get to it last night. However, the Master Grade Freedom Gundam Dramatic Combination Set is what we're going to be talking about. Now this is that thing that I've talked about. I think I talked about it once before. Basically just the Master Grade Freedom Gundam 2.0 and the figurized bust of Kira Yamato, just in kind of a 2-pack. It doesn't look like there's anything else changed. It's just an extra way to get those two kits if you want them together. And it looks like it comes with a 1/100 scale action base as well, so you get some nice display options with that. I think I am going to pick this up just because I've heard pretty much nothing but good things about the Master Grade Freedom Gundam 2.0, and I really want to pick one of these up. So I'm going to grab that when it comes out. And, you know, having an extra action base lying around is always useful. And while I'm not a big fan of Kira Yamato as a character, I have been kind of wanting to try out the figurized bust line. So there's really not a lot of reasons, at least for me, to not get this kit. And if you don't already have a Freedom 2.0, it's a nice way to get it along with some extra little bonuses. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. It's going to be 6,000 yen, and it's coming out in February, so it'll kind of fill in the gap in the lineup between the GM Sniper 2 and the Providence Gundam. So that's very cool. Nice to see 3 Master Grade releases back-to-back like that. Next up, we have something that we've seen at Gunpla Expo before, but back then it was only referred to as MSA. This is now being called the High Grade Hekija. Now that appears to be Japanese for innocence, judging by what I found through Google Translate, but you know, we all know how reliable that is, so take it with a grain of salt. But the Hekija appears to be very strongly based off of the Hyakuri. As you can tell, especially if you look at the back, you'll notice that middle section, it looks like it's pulled pretty much straight from the Hyakuri, as well as the inner knee joints look very much similar to the Hyakuri. But yeah, I really like this design. It's more ground-based. The feet are a little funny looking, I will admit. They kind of look like snowshoes. The rifle looks really cool. I love the shape of that gun. The overall design of it in general looks really interesting. I want to see how this looks colored. And I also like his or her or its sword, I guess. It looks really neat. The only thing that's bothering me is maybe the arm articulation, but it looks like there's probably a swivel joint where the shoulder pad attaches to the body, so we should have some front and back movements. So hopefully it won't be like the Hyakuri where you have this weird kind of shroud around the arms that keeps them from moving. But it looks like they've fixed that minor little issue that the Hyakuri had for this next later use of the mold. Next up, we have something else here. This is something we have not seen in a retail released model kit from Bandai for a very long time, and this is a beam blast effect part for the high-grade mobile armor. So this thing is not a new mold. It's something they pulled from the figurized standard line, more specifically from one of the Dragon Ball Z figures. But it is a very cool looking effect part that plugs right into the mouth of the mobile armor, makes it look like it's firing off its beam cannon, and it looks absolutely awesome. I strongly support the use of effect parts in any kind of action figure or model kit, especially if they're bundled with the base release and not some kind of exclusive add-on. So very glad to see that, very happy to see that. And I have to say, the mobile armor itself is shaping up to look pretty awesome, especially after seeing it in the show. I really like how that thing looks. Then we have another batch of official images here. These are all of the BEARGGUYS, because if you remember, we got not 1, not 2, but 3 new BEARGGUYS announced at Gunpla Expo. We finally have official images of them. These are kind of like those Dengeki Hobby sort of straight snap build pictures. So first up we have, I believe this was called Soda Pop Blue or something. It's basically a light blue BEARGGUY, very similar to the one that you get with the BEARGGUY family, or rather, the light blue petite guy, I should say, since this isn't actually a full-size BEARGGUY. But he's got a little half-eaten popsicle, or I guess ice candy, as they call them over there in Japan. And he's looking very cute. And then we have the next one, which is Bittersweet Brown. And this guy has a chocolate bar, and obviously the wrapper for the chocolate bar is a sticker, but this might be the most appropriate use of a sticker ever on a Gundam model kit, considering that the foil sticker material is very similar to the material you might see as the wrapper on an actual chocolate bar. So it's one of those rare cases where it actually makes a lot of sense to make this piece a sticker. That's actually kind of cool. Next up, we have what's being referred to as the Papa BEARGGUY, or the Papa Guy. I believe that's a tentative name, and they have another name for this that they're going to pop on the box once this thing gets released. But this is a BEARGGUY in kind of a light gray color. He's got a cane, he's got a mustache, he's got a tie, he's got a hat. And I hate to say it, I think this is the BEARGGUY that'll make me buy a BEARGGUY, because I've been avoiding this entire series of kits up until now, but I don't know. I don't know if I can resist this one. He's just too classy looking. And I'm really interested to see what's going on with his back there. He's got some kind of obvious connector for something. I really don't know what that's for. Maybe it's part of that kind of chair adapter that the BEARGGUY F had, and it's just like the leftover chunk of it on his back. Or maybe he has something else that plugs in there. I'm not sure, but I I do actually really want to know more about this kit because I hate to say it, like normally I don't like the bear guys, but this might be the bear guy that makes me start collecting them. God, I hope not. Okay, so for our next story, we will need, once again, the obligatory spoiler alert because we're, again, talking about the high-grade Gundam Flauros. So if you don't want to know anything about this design, anything about this mobile suit, and trust me, it's nothing super mind-blowing or anything, but it does kind of have a few tricks up its sleeve, and considering how hard Bandai's been trying to keep this design under wraps, it's very obvious that they do want to keep it a surprise for the show. So if you don't want that surprise spoiled, now would be the time to leave a like, and then hop along to one of my other videos and check that out. So, for those of you that are still here, we're going to jump right into the story. Now, there's not any brand new images here to see. Basically, these are just higher resolution versions of the images we saw before, the same leaked pictures. We got the box art on the front of the box here, looking very crisp and pretty high resolution. And then we have, again, that same side of the box shot we saw that shows off the kind of cat mode for this thing. Looks pretty cool. I like how, for once, the kind of eyes that Shino paints on his mobile suits actually make sense this time because they're kind of the eyes for the beast mode. And then we have some interior manual pictures, and because, of course, the manuals for the IBO kits are now bilingual, you can read up a little bit about the mobile suit, about the pilot, about all the different gimmicks and features on the machine. So if you want to pause here on any of these frames and read it, you can go right ahead. That's all the news for tonight, so leave a like if you enjoyed it, and like I mentioned last episode, the sub goal for this month is 4,000, and yeah, that is kind of ambitious. Not sure I'm going to make it, but I think we could do it if you guys just keep sharing this video around, or really any of my content, you know, on Facebook, on Twitter. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to mention this right here, just because I know somebody asked about this in the comments section. In one of my earlier videos, they wanted to know, you know, do I have any other social media stuff? And yes, I do. I do have a Twitter. The handle is @SecondSoundwave. It's up on the screen right now. I'll also put a link to it down in the description, so you could just click that and go over there if you want to follow me on there. I do use it from time to time, trying to use it a little bit more nowadays, although most of what I do is just retweeting other people's stuff. But still, if you want to see that, it is there. So if you are one of those people that's watching this for the first time, or you just aren't subscribed for some other reason, this would be a great time to click the icon that's popping up on the screen right about now to stay up to date on Gunpla news, and if you want to watch some of my other stuff that I've made, click the thumbnails to either side of it. I'm your host, Second Soundwave, and I'll see you next time.